Hey, hi, this is Bernard de Traversat. I am the Vice President of Engineering for the Java Platform Group at Oracle. Hi, so today I'm going to give some overview of our Java Management Service, or JMS. As most of you know, managing and securing Java within the enterprise is very challenging and a very complex problem. Java applications are deployed on a broad set of assets: desktop, laptop, on-premise, servers, as well as cloud. Multiple older versions of Java are commonly used within the enterprise. And then there is this ongoing flow of rapid cadence of security patches that need to be applied. And not patching a system leaves a system at significant risk. And then, customers typically have very little visibility on their overall Java deployment. So we developed this Oracle Java Management Service. It's an OCI cloud-based service, which intend to provide a single pane of glass to discover and manage your Java deployments across the enterprise. The service has kind of three main pillars: discovery, management, and insight. And the service will enable you to monitor and manage your Java deployments on desktop, laptop, on-premise servers, as well as cloud instances, either on Oracle Cloud or on non-Oracle Cloud. The Java Management Service provides a number of key capabilities. The first one is discovery. The service will enable you to discover all your Java installations. Will provide you usage tracking, so you can track, where those Java installations are, and then more importantly, which applications are using a specific, Java versions. Also, will provide, a complete analysis of the runtime usage information and provide some, nice report that helps you as an administrator to kind of understand how you are using Java across your different assets. In addition, the Java Management Service will provide you the abilities to update your Java installation, so you can stay at the most, secure version of Java, and will provide insight if, in fact, you have versions that are installed that are not at the security baseline. What are kind of, the overall business value? The first one is around increased productivity by providing to our customers an integrated tool to help them manage their Java deployment. Provide, centralized reports in the single locations where you can see the aggregations about all your Java usage, and then scaling to all the different environments to avoid, collections, across, the different assets that you have. We expect the Java Management Service to reduce your operational cost by reducing and providing you a cloud-based service, so you don't have really to set up an infrastructures. You will basically get all this data through, very, concise and contextual reports. And finally, the intent is to enhance your security, ensuring that, you don't have unpatched versions left, as well as, making sure that all your applications are running on the right version of Java. The cloud service, that JMS, provide, we also provide you the abilities to define configurable alarms that can warn you about in case where there is, new versions that are being installed or new Java applications that are running within your environment. So, at the high level, you will have an asset. It can be a laptop, desktop, on-premise servers, or a VM running on the clouds. There will be, different Java versions that are installed, and then you will have your applications. So the way the Java Management Service works, it is that you have to install an agent. It's a JMS agent. Once this agent is installed, this agent will start to discover in a very autonomous manner all the different Java versions that are installed on your, managed instance, and then we'll start to produce reports that will track, two main things. The first one, what are the different versions that are installed, different Java versions that are being installed, as well as which applications are being run on this specific managed instance and which Java versions that specific application is using. Once those reports are generated locally, the agents, will send the data through a secure connections to the Java Management Service running on OCI. And at that point, OCI will run and generate reports that will describe, in a single console view, if you want, your Java usage. And of course, those reports will be only visible by you, as a customer. So looking at kind of, the way, Java is being used, within the enterprise, then you're kind of looking at kind of, three main dimensions. The first one is the, application dimensions. Then you have the managed instance dimensions, as well as the Java runtime. Kind of, those three dimensions will describe, where a specific applications will run. It will run on a specific managed instance, as well as on the specific Java runtime. And so one of the very unique capabilities that JMS will provide you is the abilities to find out, let's say that for this application 3, on which managed instance this specific application is running, and more importantly, which Java versions that application is using. And so here you have the abilities in a very simple way to be able to ensure that, you are using the latest critical patch. You also identified, potential Java versions that are out of date, that should have been either removed from the system or being updated. And finally, you have the abilities to kind of monitor and get notified in case a new application is running or a new Java version is being installed on a specific managed instance. And that's kind of, at the high level view of what JMS is doing. Okay. So let's go into a demo so we can see, more concretely, as the service is working. Okay, so you get access to the Java management service through the observabilities and management, tab on the OCI console. Okay. And so you can see here, we have the Java management service. So let's go and look at kind of, at the overview. So the first, overall view that the JMS will provide you is kind of, a combined view of all kind of, the managed asset and different Java versions that you are, running within the specific compartment. So JMS introduced a new concept, the concept of fleet. Think about fleet as a logical grouping of assets, that will be managed as a common, with a common policies. And those assets could be, laptop, desktop, cloud. You can group them. It's completely under the control of you on how you want to organize your fleet. So within this compartment, the JMS console, we show that, we have 7 fleet. We'll give you kind of, a number of managed instance or, computers or assets that are being managed by, JMS at this point. It will give you kind of, high-level summaries of all the different Java versions that are being installed, as well as the different number of applications. From there, from the console, you can get access to the documentations. We have a live lab that give you kind of, very easy way for you to kind of go and demo and access of the service. Okay. And then we give you kind of, a bunch of announcements around, newer versions of Java that we are delivering, as well as update on the Java management service. So from there, we can go into the fleet view. So the fleet view will give you basically the list of all the fleet that are currently active. And you can, as I was mentioning, earlier, you can have as many fleet as you want. Okay. And then, from the tab, you can get, at the high level view, kind of, understanding, for example, how many managed instance, how many different Java runtime, or how many applications do I have, within a specific fleet. So let's look at the JMS demo, fleet. So if I click, on that specific fleet, I get access to kind of a high level summary that will give you a bit more, in detail information around the Java usage within that fleet. So starting from the top left, here we are showing, all the different managed instances that are part of this fleet. So in this current, instance of that fleet, I have 6 managed instances. 4 of them are Linux, and 2 of them are, Windows Server instance. The next metrics on the top right will basically list you all the different Java versions that we have found across all the managed instances within that fleet. Okay. At the bottom left will show you all the different applications across all the managed instances that have been discovered by JMS. And then finally, the bottom right will show you also all the different vendors. As there are different Java distributions that are being distributed by different vendors. So here, JMS will be able also to detect, all the non-Oracle, Java distributions. So from this high-level view, and this is where kind of, the power of JMS, is playing, you can go and start to kind of slide the data of your Java usage within this fleet in kind of those 3 dimensions that I was mentioning earlier. So starting on the managed instance, so if I click on the tab on the left side, which is a managed instance, I can basically get the view for all the managed instance that I have within this fleet, kind of understanding, how many different Java versions are being installed on that specific, managed instance. Okay. In the same way, I can go to the Java Runtime tab on the left, okay? And here we see all the different Java versions that we have found, across all the managed instance, within this fleet. Then, we are providing, a number of key, useful informations, one related to, what was the vendors, and then the more importantly, the security state. I mean, is this specific Java versions is above or below the security baseline? And then we will provide you kind of, guidance around, hey, if you're running on 16.02, since, there is no more security updates for the 16, they're kind of, the 6 months release, you're supposed to move to JDK 17, so you need to upgrade, okay? Where, if you are on the long-term, supported release, like, 8.0.271, there is clearly, a new, CPU update, or critical patch update for that specific family. And so here we'll give you the sense that, hey, you can do an update versus an upgrade. Of course, we also, list, what are the versions that are in fact, currently at the right security baseline, and you will basically get the green, check mark. And so from here, you can sort of, sort out and see, okay, what are all the versions that are, above the security baseline, which are kind of the one that you should really be using, as well as all the other ones that basically need to be upgraded or need to be deleted. Okay. Then also, on this view, we'll provide you, the number of managed instances that have the specific Java version installed, as well as the number of applications that are in fact, using that specific Java versions. And so it's kind of providing you kind of, the nice view to kind of connect, how you are using those different Java versions. Okay. And finally, the nice view that JMS is providing you is the application views, where you can, view all the Java applications. So one thing that we are doing it is that, every time a new Java application is being started on the managed instance, JMS will track that and be able to report that new applications, are started. Okay. And so here in this view, you can view, all the different, Java applications that have been detected. You can also view on the managed instance on how many different instances within that fleet that specific applications, has been run. Now, the true value of JMS now, it is to be able to kind of, go down and kind of slide through the data. So for example, as a system administrator, you can look at your entire fleet and say, hey, I don't really understand how can we still have the 16.01 Java version installed. Seeing that there is 3 managed instances and 2 applications. So let me look at it into more detail to kind of understand which applications are using 16.01. And so here we can double click on the 16.01. And at that point, the console data will basically, slide the data to only looking at the 16.01 data. So now I am within the context of that specific Java versions. And so I can go and look at, as we are, looking before, and kind of understanding that, yes, I have 2 applications, but what are those applications? And so I can go to the application tab and then now figure out exactly what were the 2 specific Java applications that are running on that specific Java versions. So that's, at the head of one, and you can basically do the same things with, starting on, if you're interested to look at now at an application, kind of understanding on which managed instance that application is running. You can go to the specific applications and kind of, slide the data and looking at on which specific managed instance, this application is running. So, and that's kind of, the power of JMS to kind of, let you and look at that, through the data to kind of figure out, where Java versions, what are the different Java versions that are being installed, how they are being used, for you to kind of understand if you can remove a specific Java version because it's not used, as well understanding which Java application is in fact, not using the right Java versions. So in order for GMS to to be deployed, you need to deploy an agent on the system. So the Java Management Service provide you a very easy way to install an agent on your system that you want to be managed within that fleet. So if you click on the Setup Management Agents, will give you access to an installation script. It's a single installation script that basically will go ensure that you have the right Java environment to run the agents. We set up the agents for that fleet and create kind of the secure connection between the agents and the Java Management Service. And so here we're offering at this point, support for Windows and Linux, Windows desktop, as well as Windows Server, Win32, Win64, and Windows Server, and then the various level of Linux. And this is kind of the support that we have right now. Another important part of the configurations of GMS is once you have set up your agents, GMS will give you the abilities to configure your agent setting, both in terms of how often do you want the agents to scan your system to find all the different Java versions, either Oracle or non-Oracle versions, as well as how often do you want the data, this Java usage data, to be sent to OCI. Also, the Java Management Service will let you configure across all your managed instance, the different paths or directory that you want to exclude, because that there will be no Java version that are being installed, on those directories. So you can do that, configure that at the fleet level. Okay. So that's kind of, the first part that I showed was kind of, the reporting capabilities of GMS. Okay. Then, from those capabilities, GMS has, the abilities now to update, either to delete, or install a new version of Java. So for example, let's say that, you did your report, you install, you get the connections, you're kind of looking at all the different Java versions that are being installed on your environments. You can detect that you have, a bunch of, Red Hat installed, or, even, adopt upon GDK. But let's say that, hey, I need to secure, the system. So let me say that, I should have 18, to be used. And so now GMS will provide you the abilities from the centralized console to go and delete the GDK 8 installations across all the managed instances that have GDK 18 installed. So if you click the delete button, in fact, you can select, more than one versions. So let's say I'm selecting, all those different versions, and I say, hey, I want to delete them. So at that point, before GMS takes the action to delete, those different Java versions, GMS will provide you informations and, telling you that, hey, please make sure that you have right now, 2 applications, that are running on 1702, 2 applications that are running at 1801, and 6 applications that are running GDK 18. And, if you click, as I was showing you, earlier, you can find out exactly what are those 6 applications. So here, before you go in deep, GMS will kind of, give you the warning and say, hey, make sure that you're not deleting Java versions that, in fact, you may still need to use as you are, transitioning, from this unsecure, less secure to the security baseline. Okay. Another key capabilities that GMS is providing is kind of the abilities to download all the available, Java versions that are available. So GMS provides you the Java download. It's another capabilities of the service that provide you kind of, a single view of all the Java versions that are currently, available and delivered by Oracle. And so we are providing you, of course, the current releases, which is really what we want our customer to use. Those versions are the most secure versions. And this go around all the, current, the feature release, 6 months feature release, as well as all the LTS releases that basically, we are supporting on GDK 17, GDK 11, and GDK 8. Those are kind of the version that are at the security baseline. Now, of course, if it is the case that you want to test or you need access to an older archive versions, then we do provide you, access directly from the GMS service, to all those different versions, assuming that you have, support and have our Java subscription support. Okay. The last capabilities I wanted to show here, I show you the abilities to delete, older versions or version that you know, but also JMS provides the abilities to install, new Java version. So at this point, you will have the abilities to go and install any of the Java versions that I was showing you on the download service on all the managed instance, that you have within that fleet. So kind of, JMS providing you this very nice way and capabilities to be able to update your Java installations across, large number of managed instances that you have within your fleet. Okay, so that was a very quick tour on JMS. So let me go back to the presentations. Okay, so the JMS service is available across all the OCI regions all around the world. So we have more than 37, close to 40 regions, and that's kind of a very important part of the JMS service, where the service is accessible and you can deploy the JMS across across the world. And if you are large corporations where you have managed assets all around the world, you can find the right mapping to associate those managed instances that are in the US to the various region that we have in the US, or if you have assets in Europe or in Middle East or Asia, we also have the abilities to connect. So it's kind of very nice capabilities that the JMS has to kind of providing you to distribute and manage all your assets for very large enterprise across the world. So the Java management service, we say, okay, what is the cost? So usage tracking, which is one of the capabilities that I show around discovery reporting, is available to everyone. There is no need to purchase any subscriptions. You only need to cover the cost of OCI storage. I will, show quickly, some cost. So basically, you can install JMS everywhere, and you're able to figure out, which system need a subscription if you want to get access to the advanced features, which is the abilities to delete or update or install a new version of Java. In terms of OCI cost, the cost is very minimal. So I just took an example here of fairly large deployments where you want to manage, a fleet or multiple fleet of 150,000 managed instances. Assuming that you have, 10 different JVM, 10 different applications per instance, that you are launching, 10 applications per day, and you want to retain the data for 6 months. So you can see that, overall in terms of OCI storage costs, which is the only thing that you will, be the cost of using JMS, we're talking about, close to, a bit more than $300, a month, as well as $4,000 a month for being able to track your Java usage on the fleet that is of 150,000 managed instances. Okay. Now, if you're interested on getting access to the advanced features, and there, we have a very compelling and interesting roadmap, moving forward with JMS. But, right now, with the advanced feature, you have the abilities to install or delete. You will be required to have a Java SE subscriptions or Java desktop subscriptions. If you are, managing instances that are on OCI, there is no need to purchase subscriptions. You need to basically, be charged on the OCI storage. So the enterprise, Java SE subscription model, it's very, affordable in terms of, covering the cost for managing if you want to install, and if you want JMS to be able to install and delete your Java versions. We're talking around, $25 per processor per month for server or cloud deployments, or $2.5 dollars and 50 cents, for managing a desktop. And of course, as you get into large scale, there's a way to get, tier volume, discount, and certainly, we can engage with our sales, people to get you the right, pricing for your specific deployment. So finally, if you want to try, JMS, we have a very nice feature, which is a live labs. You don't need to have an OCI account. When you go to that link, automatically will provision, temporary instance, OCI instance for you to go and demo and test, the JMS service. You can play, attaching, a couple of your, managed instance, and try the service. certainly encourage you. That's a very easy way, simple way, for you to get a sense of what, JMS is providing. Thank you very much. And as a final word, I will ask you go and try the management service. I give you the how, on the cloud, on the Oracle Cloud to get access to JMS service. Thank you very much for your time.